I am convinced religious people and atheists are all alike. Which, truth be told, they both are religious. Difference is the name of their religion, but it makes no difference. Christian, Jew, atheist, all the same. Because all of them have no true understanding of what they believe in. The vast majority of people are the masses. They're just the riffraff. They're just the mob. They have no idea what they even believe in. Ask them something, they don't know. You know what they're going to tell you? Well, I'm going to have to ask my fill in the blank. In Judaism, they're called geniuses. Isn't that nice? Like you go to the Apple store, they have the Apple Genius, the Genius Bar. Ooh, make you sound smart, doesn't it? The sophisticated rabbis with all of their traditions and their long white beards. They love rubbing their beards, don't they? Make them look wise. Well, in the Christian religion, you got your reverends and your bishops. Ooh, and your cardinals in the Catholic Church. Pastors are for the common Christian, but most of them, you go up in the hierarchy, the cardinals, the bishops, they're the geniuses. I don't need to understand. They explain this to me. Atheism works exactly the same way. Just because somebody is an atheist doesn't mean they actually know what they believe in. They have no clue. If they did, they probably wouldn't believe it because it makes no sense at all. And don't think I forgot about Islam. I'm getting there. But with atheism, you have no idea. So where do you go? You go to the textbooks. Well, who wrote them? The teachers? Well, who are the teachers? You all go back to the geniuses. Whoever is in control of the media. The scientist. Well, do they know what we're talking about? Oh, sure, they sound so smart, don't they? They love giving you all of this analytical data to confuse you. Use a language that you're not even going to understand so that you would believe they know what we're talking about. Yet they miss the whole point, don't they? They're so blind, they don't even see that they are blind. But yet, you are so blind that you don't even see that they're blind. And yet you follow them. And you have no idea what you believe in. You don't understand the theses. You know the difference when those pro-Gaza people yelling out loud in America, from the river to the sea. Excuse me, do you know which river and which sea? You're all the same. What's the difference? Pro-Palestinian people, atheists, religious people. You're just dumb as a rock, aren't you? You have no idea what you believe in. You have no true conviction or understanding. You just are along for the ride. Angry mob syndrome. The riffraff. Witch hunt. It's all the same. It's always been that same. People just go along. You're just there for the party. You don't even know whose party, what party, who's celebrating. You don't care. You're just there to get drunk. You just want to be a part of the crowd, a part of the movement. You just want to be popular. You want to be in. Like all of those guys joined the KKK. Why? They don't even hate black people. They just want to be a part of the crowd. The Torah tells us do not join the masses in doing what is evil. And yet most people do, because most people are the masses, and the masses is like a cancer cell. It just grows and multiplies. Now, I did say I'm going to come back to Islam, didn't I? Well, the Imams, same thing. Islam is another man-made religion. Muhammad never even existed. Did you know that? Mecca, the city that he's allegedly from, did not even exist until a few hundred years after Islam was founded. It was like a mythical city that did not exist. So surely Muhammad did not grow up in Mecca and lived there, because there was no Mecca. Muhammad never existed. Crazy. And yet you got 2-something billion people believing in that fake religion. But then again, how many atheists do you have saying there is no God? The fool says in his heart there is no God. How can you even say there is no God unless there's a God that gives you air to breathe and a tongue to speak and vocal cords and a mind to comprehend information and a consistency in the universe so that you would even be able to think and do science? But you don't think about these things because you're ignorant and arrogant and prideful and stupid. That's the truth. You don't even know what you believe in. There's no arguing with a fool, because why? You're not even going to understand the argument because you're not even convinced in your own conviction. I'd much rather talk to a mature, knowledgeable atheist. I can have a reasonable, rational conversation and maybe even show him where the lack of logic is in his argument. Because atheism is wrong. There is a God, and it's so easy to prove. It's so easy to point it out how the science is flawed and the math is rigged. The earth is not billions of years old. It's so easy to prove that. But when you don't even know what you believe in, how can you accept the argument that what you believe in is false? You don't even know what you believe in. So the Christians, you tell them that Santa Claus is actually not Jesus, that Jesus was not born on Christmas, and Easter is actually Ishtar, the pagan goddess of fertility, and has nothing to do with the resurrection, which is why you look up Easter eggs and Easter bunny, dip the eggs in blood, fertility practices. Now you do it in color because you're civil. Or you tell the Jews that the Talmud was actually not the oral Torah passed down for Moshe, and that Yeshua is actually the Mashiach that came from the line of David to redeem his people from spiritual slavery to sin. It's all the same. You tell them that they don't actually need to have a kippah on their head. They do not need to go to synagogue. They do not need a Siddur book. They do not need to put a tefillin on their head. Duh. You can hear that busy tone in their brain that cannot comprehend. Lights on, but nobody's home. I would much rather argue with an intellectual opponent than a fool. And most of you are fools, which is why you're never gonna get this. It has nothing to do with your IQ, by the way, but of your spiritual condition. You choose to become fools by the very fact you do not even care. Why don't you care? You claim to believe in something, you do not care? Because you do care and understand things that you actually care about. For some of you, it's the stats of the New York Dodgers or whatever. I don't even know what sports team there are. But you know every single stat about every single player in the NFL, NBL, or KPPL. You know what I'm talking about. Or if it's you that love whatever, right? You know everything about the industry that you're fascinated with, infatuated with. But your faith, you know nothing about because you just don't care. And that's the truth. And the truth hurts, but the truth will set you free if you actually abide by it. Study your faith. See if it's real. Examine, cross-examine, and try to, what's the word? Falsify, try to break it. Try to see if you cannot deny it, annul it. And then conduct experiments. You get a result, but then you have to try to violate that. You have to try to, show the other side. See if you can get a different result. If you can prove that this is actually false. Why do you believe what you believe in? Maybe that's just because your parents taught you, your girlfriend taught you, you saw somebody you liked that taught you, been watching too much television, influenced by the mass media, you read it in a textbook. Oh, that's the big one. Because, every mass-produced media, universities, scholastic education, public governments, they all support that atheist mess. Because they are the devils, the system. Where do you think the system comes from? You treat the system as if they're God. Well, that is the anti-God. That's why it's called the Antichrist instead of. Anti means instead of, not against, even though it could be against, but it is instead of, it is the replacement. Now you trust in the government and whatever they feed you. They indoctrinate your children in the public education system. They put up this media in every home and every digital device in your very hand with those websites. You call it fake news, but what is not? Fake education, fake science, fake mathematics, fake medicine. You think you need all of those pills? We already talked about it. How come all of a sudden we need so much vitamins, as if food does not satisfy? People have lived here for thousands of years. They were fine. But apparently we need to consume all of these multivitamins every single day, make the pharmaceutical companies rich because the food is toxic. Everybody's playing you. You've been had. So here's the truth. Hear, O Israel, the Lord is God. The Lord is one. There is one God. He's the Creator. He created Adam. He is the species of what we are, human beings, sons of Adam, sons of men, human beings, men and women. Then we rebelled against him, therefore we are dying off. Hence, out of his benevolence, grace, and love, came to die for us, that we might have life through Yeshua, the one who gave his life for us. He paid the debt. Now go and get your voucher. Your debt has been wiped clean, and you are forgiven. Now follow him and do what he says. Sin no more. Do not go astray. Do not rebel. Do not deny him. Go back home and serve your master, your creator. Do what he says. That's it. Simple. Has nothing to do with any religions. Just the practicality of life itself. So wake up, people. Wise up before it's too late.